I'm back again with another checklist for people who are building in Zimbabwe or people who are wishing to build in Zimbabwe. This is your video, and this is the video that has been missing in my channel. Now, to make this process a complete process that will be easier for you to follow, if you're one of those people that wants motivation and encouragement on your building project in Zimbabwe, this video is for you. And also, I do encourage you to recommend this video to other people who are in the same position, building or planning to start a project in Zimbabwe. Hi guys, my name is Simply Rhoda and this is my YouTube channel. If it's your first time on this channel, honey, don't forget to smash that like button as well as subscribing to my channel. I promise you, you're not regretting joining my family. Again, or you're returning survey, I want to say thank you for continuing to support my videos and support my channel. Now go ahead, smash that like button, which is something that has been missing in most of our videos. People, we are not liking the videos. There is a huge advantage of you liking the video. It makes this video be recommended to other people with the same mindset as you and me, and this can help other people who are in the dilemma or in the process of building in Zimbabwe. Probably they are unaware of the stages they should go on, the thing they should count on, they should, or the steps that they should take towards achieving their dream house, completion of their dream house in Zimbabwe. So y'all, go ahead, smash that like button. Just press that like button, yeah. I want to say thank you for doing that. Dive into this video, and I want to make this video a bit shorter, so stay with me. Grab a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, or a cup of my hair. Sit back, relax, and let's enjoy this video. Like the title of this video is Building in Zimbabwe Checklist. Yes, I'm repeating again, this is a video that has been missing on my channel for the longest time. Now I went back and checked, these questions are coming back. People are still asking the question that I thought I had already addressed in my past video. To my surprise, I realized I didn't make this checklist. Yeah, thank you so much. Now sit back and let's look at it. So if you are planning to build in Zimbabwe, or you already have the stand or the place to build your beautiful home, but you don't know what to do next, so this checklist is for you. Again, if you're looking for motivation, this video is for you, so hit that like button. Let's go. So the first thing that I'm going to be talking about, I have 10 things that you need when it comes to building in Zimbabwe, especially on the preparatory stages. So we're going to address 10 important things that you need to make your job easier and your construction easier, So let's look at the first thing, that is buying a stand. So at this moment, if you haven't purchased your stand, I think the first stage you need is to have your stand or purchase your stand. Then we can go on to stage number 2. So part number 2. So buying on stands, I know there are so many issues that may come with this, but what I want to say is when you are at the process of buying a stand in Zimbabwe, make sure you are aware and you know fully about the conditions of the place where you are buying. Because I've seen people crying after they have purchased the stands and later they are told it's occupied already, or this stand belongs to another person. This is a thing that is happening in Zimbabwe. Some bogus companies are doing the same, especially for people who buy stands but do not develop them for a long time. There is a risk of having their stands be sold to other people again. So what I can say, when you buy this stand, try to develop the stand, the place as fast as you can. This can prevent your stand from being sold to another person and have this issue of double allocation in the future. And I've realized that double allocation happens, but the person who usually end up winning the ownership of this stand is the person who would have maybe improved the stand, who have put something, have a tangible structure on it. So to avoid this to happen, I know a lot of people who are in diaspora, some of us, we buy things but we don't actually jump on it or improve the places. So we are the ones who risk the most of having this double allocation and having our stand taken from us and lose the money that we work hard for. So now purchase your stand, make sure you are aware and you do something at the stand. If you are not ready to build, just put something on the stand so that it's notable that this stand belongs to somebody. And I don't think somebody will be able to come and be shown this stand where there is a cabin or something that shows it's already occupied and they will go ahead and purchase. I don't think so. So now let's go to number 2. This takes us to number 2. After you get your stand, now you are preparing to build. The most important thing that you should do now is to take a survey of the area that you are buying. We know nowadays in Zimbabwe, stands are being sold anywhere, everywhere. Regardless of the situation or the conditions of the place, stands are being sold anywhere. It could be in wetlands, mountains, mountainous regions and stuff. There are places that used to be prohibited from like building or for residential areas, but nowadays you find that there is no place that is limited for that. So another thing that you should be aware of is the place where your stand is located. This will also help you in knowing what kind of materials you need when it comes to constructing, because the highlands and normal lands, you cannot compare the material that goes on that with the material that goes on a wetlands. Wetlands usually require special foundations, hence the materials that you need for that are going to be more, and it's going to be expensive for you for sure. So you have to survey the place so you can understand what you are putting yourself into, so you won't cry when it comes to buying the material or when you are getting more information about what's required of that area. So yeah, survey the area before you buy, or survey the area even after you buy. If you're willing to go with it, survey it and know what to expect. Now that takes us to the third point. The third point is the sourcing of materials. Now, after you have surveyed the land, now you want to start your project, you want to do sourcing of materials. This is a mistake I did on my part. I think building my house, there are things that I have used that have cost me a lot of money because I wasn't actually sourcing with so much energy. So it's like I was only aiming bigger suppliers, bigger hardwares, hence their prices are way higher as compared to local hardwares where you can find the similar or kind of same things anywhere, only different place where it's being sold. So I think for you, if you are going to be starting this project, I think it's more important to take your time in sourcing. Do source, never tire. Do source. If you are not there, find your reliable sources that can help you to go to different hardwares to source for the materials that you're going to require for your building. Even for those that supply sand, pit sand, and so forth and so forth. It also depends with the distance to your house that I think will cost you more. Probably the product will not be that expensive, but the transportation of these goods from where they are taken to your stand or the area where you are building could be the part that takes a lot of money. So this is something that I think I spent a lot of money on transportation costs, because the people I was asking to help me do this, they'll find the prices which were similar everywhere, but where the cars were coming with these things were a little bit far. Hence I spent a lot of money in transporting these things, which I feel like you should actually look into it. I know we can have family members in the family that are in the same line of business, doing the same things or that supply the similar things, but where they'll be coming from is a little bit distant to where you will be, but they'll still charge you according from where they are coming to where you are, and you pay. So sometimes we are trying to support each other's business or family's business. That is another thing that can happen. So look into that, where you are buying the materials and where they are delivered. If you are told the materials are found on another side of the city, try to source on yourself and see where the places you are building, whether there aren't other suppliers within that area, so you can cut costs. So this is another thing. So when you are sourcing, also do not just source from one supplier. Try to go to multiple suppliers, which is something that I learned recently at the stage where I am. In my past video, I did update you on the project that I'm doing now within the house. I am doing plumbing and stuff like that. So buying these materials is also something that I've realized in the past, that I have been purchasing these things where they are expensive, whereas there are other local hardware that supplies the similar things at actually affordable prices. So do source, never tire. Do source. If you have a chance to be around, do source for yourself. Move around. You can be listening, or you can actually save a lot of money by sourcing from different suppliers. Okay, now we go to the fourth point that I think is very important for you, is also the bill of costs. I know some people, before you start building, I didn't do that, but I feel like it's very important for you to be aware, to know the bill of quantities, how much you need, how many, what are you likely to use to build your house. I think this can give you a rough idea, and also it can give you it can give you, a rough idea of what you are putting yourself into, and how you are going to budget and manage your costs pertaining the construction of your house. I think it's very important to have an idea of the bill of quantity and the amount of the things that are going to be entering in your house, and the likely estimated cost of those things is very, very important before you start building. So you can know that once you start that project, you will be operating within your means, within your budget, or maybe you need to add slightly lesser. And also, when you are doing bill of quantities, you can know the cost of things. Again, you can know. So when you are sourcing, either it's during your absence or so, you will know that you won't stray that much. And I think it helps a lot when it comes to budgeting, which is our next point. Our next point is budget. So after you get your bill of quantities and the cost that you are likely to pay on some of these things, you will be able to budget according to your pocket. Like I've stated in my past video, there are stages in building that needs you to complete. The moment you start, you can't leave them halfway, or you can't stop halfway. So in that case, you will know the stages that you need to complete. Once you start them, there are stages that you don't need to stop. These are the main stages, like the foundation. I mean, the foundation up to slab level, and as well as the roofing. I think these two stages are actually crucial, in the sense that once you start them, you have to see them through. You have to make sure that you complete them. These are stages that you can't do half. We know why. When it comes to roofing, you can't let your timber be rained on, and this one can be a very big disadvantage if that sort happen. So once you start roofing, you have to make sure that you complete that stage. So if you have the bill of quantities and the cost, this can help you when you are making your budget. Like when you are going to that stage, you know for sure you are going in full, and you are going to complete that stage. There's nothing that is going to take you back and stuff, unless otherwise. But you know that you have a good full budget for that, and you avoid a lot of these misfortunes when it comes to those stages. Okay, now that takes us to the next stage, that is the fourth stage, right? The construction manager. I think this is very, very, very important. For me, it's another big mistake I did. Like I told you, I was just relying on my sister. But like I said, my sister is also somebody who has a job and a family. So she couldn't be at the site 100%. She'd go and see, and just see what the people are doing, make payments and stuff, which I'm really, really grateful for. But I think for you, if you are going to start your project, you may want somebody who's going to be there 24/7 for you to manage the project once it's in full force. This one can also take a little bit money out of you, but I think it's worth it, because it will save you a lot of stress that comes with building and dealing with the workmanship. Of course, no matter how at the moment in Zimbabwe, most people are constructing, and you find that most builders will get a lot of offers. Sometimes if there isn't anybody who is managing them on your project, you find that they will leave your project and go to do other projects. Hence, that can stall your project and takes longer to complete because they will be grabbing jobs from all corners, So in that case, I think if you have the advantages of having a construction manager, this will help them to be diligent on your project and concentrate on your project. If they have given you a time frame that they are going to construct Muduri in a period of 2 weeks or 3 weeks, they will make sure they will complete that, because if there is a manager, someone managing them, they don't have any reason for them to, run away and grab other jobs, while it's working on 5 projects at the same time. They won't do that. They'll be able to finish without any problem. So you can be, you stay within the time frame that you agreed on. So this is another advantages of having a project manager, which I strongly encourage you to look into. Of course, it's going to cost you some money, but I think the money is worth it than when they are building and living your project. This will leave your project to be prone on people stealing at your project, people doing all sorts of stuff at your project. So I would advise you guys to go ahead, find your project manager or your construction manager to help you avoid these problems. Okay, now that takes us to the sixth point. Cabin masters. Yes, cabin masters. Let's talk about that one. So I also made a mistake of not having one, and I'll tell you why you should have one and why you need one. Again, guys, if you are to this point and you are watching this point and you haven't liked the video and subscribed to the video, go ahead here. I hope you are enjoying or you are benefiting from the points that I've stated so far, and we are still going on. Remember, we have 10 points pertaining this. So now we are on the 6th one. Go ahead, smash that like button if the things that I've said are actually helping you and making sense to you. Now we can move on to the 6th stage. The 6th stage are the cabin masters. The importance of putting a cabin at a side is probably, there are 2 advantages of 3 on that, but I know most people have the idea of putting these cabins at the site as a way to store things or to put things, to make things safer at the place. And I also say some who even have the workmanship have a place to live, or if they are coming from far, they can stay in the cabin. But what I'll say is, apart from having a construction manager, you also need somebody to be at the place just to maintain the sanity of the place, to manage or to oversee the project in general, to be there 24/7, somebody who will be seeing like a security, taking care of the things at the building site. You certainly need this, because once you are building, there are a lot of things that are involved in building. You need cement, you need things that are movable, things that can be carried, things that can be stolen. But if you have a cabin master, this is somebody who's going to see the overall or the general things happening at your project, and they are able to protect some of your things in your absence, so you can have less missing things. Again, when you are looking for these cabin masters, you have to look for somebody whom you trust. They have to be trustworthy, because these are people that are going to be sleeping at the place. These are people who are going to be tempted if they are not happy, or if they are people who are not trustworthy. These are people that can take things and sell things, because they are the ones who has the keys to the material. So guys, I think when you are hiring or finding a cabin master, find somebody who is trustworthy. And I know most of the people who love to be cabin masters are people who also want to avoid paying costs, rental costs. Living and renting houses in Harare can be a bit expensive. Anyway, I'm not just speaking about Harare, but any other cities, it can be a bit expensive. So for people that usually ask or approach people to be cabin masters at their project and look after their project, these are people that are also willing to find a place where they can live rent-free, while they are also doing the honor to have the person look after their things or take care of their things, right? So yes, the cabin masters are important, but you also have to look for people who are trustworthy, because these are also people that can sell the things that are at the project without your knowledge. These are also people who have access to smaller things. And nowadays in most places you find that people are building, and a lot of things can be stolen and in exchange to other places that are being built in the same area, but you may never know about this. The people who know this are mostly these cabin masters or the project managers, the builders. These are people that can take these things and sell them to another or exchange to another, but that will be at your cost, because once they've done that, they'll tell you that they're short of this kind of material. So you really need these cabin masters to take care of your things, and you need people who are trustworthy. You need to vet them before you send them there. Now let's look at the eighth point. The eighth point is vetting for builders and their requirements. Okay, this is way, way important. I think I've spoken at length in my past when I was talking about the builders that I work with for my project. This is very important. Like I've mentioned about, nowadays in Zimbabwe, there are so many areas where people are building. It's shocking to know that if you just type in building in Zimbabwe, there's so many projects. And thankfully to YouTube, because you can actually see a lot of these projects happening, and a lot of people are building in Zimbabwe. And some of these content creators are just showing these areas where you can buy stands, where you can find people building. Of course, people are saying things are harder in Zimbabwe, but you may be surprised if you go to Zimbabwe. People are building. Like what Mkuru Nyika had said, Nyika inovakwa never never. I don't know what, if this is what he meant. Yes, people are hard in Zimbabwe, but people are building homes in Zimbabwe. And I know the majority of people building in Zimbabwe are diasporans like you and me. I know a lot of people building are diasporans, and we are building in our absence. So when it comes to vetting for builders, it can be quite tricky, because sometimes you are not able to be there to do that in person. But if you so happen to be lucky enough to be in Zimbabwe and be able to vet for that, take these notes. So when you are vetting for a builder, look for somebody with reputable referrals. I've stated that many, many times. Look for someone with reputable referrals. This can save you later. Why I'm saying this? Building is not just putting just putting bricks and concrete and stuff. It's not all about that. There are things that are specially required for how the wall should look, the standards of meeting the areas, the standards of building. And a simple mistake can actually make your house fail the inspection. It can actually make your house fail inspection. But anyway, there is also danger in that, because nowadays, some builders know that they are bogus. They don't have licenses to build. They know they are bogus builders. Anyway, not really bogus builders, but they know they don't have the license to do that. And they are not sure. Maybe they have been Dhaka boys or helpers from other builders who know what they are doing, and they think they have gotten all their experience from that. They can start their own project. Nowadays, people are building with other people's certificates and papers. And when it comes to the approval of the buildings or the walls or the project they've done, people are paying money. But they will go ahead and pay to these inspectors that will come to see if the job has been done well. It happens a lot. So when it comes to building, look for people with referrals. Before you find yourself in a mess, make sure you find somebody who is reputable and who has done something that you can see, who has done work that you can see. Because nowadays, if you are just shown the pictures or on their social media, if you are finding this as a way of finding a builder, you are wrong there, because people can take work that is not theirs and just put it in their business store or business apps and say this is, and claim it to be theirs. People can do that. But what I can say, look for people who have had these builders do their work, and these people can have more to say than you asking the builder what they can do or what they have done before. I think you can look and find somebody who can be recommended by many people. And whilst you are looking, also do not just look at the costs, their charges, like how much they charge you to do a certain level. Don't just look at that. Look at what they have done from people they have worked for. So I think that will help you and save a lot of your money in the future, and you can eliminate a lot of problems. Right now, let's look at the next stage, that is the ninth point. These are the must-haves before the project kick-off. They are must-haves before the project kick-off, really. If you are planning to start your project, I don't know if this is the requirements for any project in any community. I'm not sure. But if I'm speaking for my Vazuva, I know there were special requirements that were required before you start constructing your house, which is having water, in toilets, water in toilets. Of course, the community has a supply of water from the council, but a lot of people are not relying on that, which is a question I've been asked in my past video. A lot of people do not rely on that, as you know that the council water is not running 24/7. They do have cuts off and the period where water can be supplied, which won't be convenient for most people, and hence people tend to resort to drilling. Drilling is the way forward for most people, that they can find they can have water at all times in their houses or at their site, So yes, water is a requirement, as well as toilets. These are things that you must have first before you start constructing your house. Again, I'm not speaking for every area. I know this depends with the site, with the community or the developer. I know there are some places that people are buying stands, and these stands do not have the running drainage system. They do have septic tanks. So I don't know how it works in areas like that. I haven't actually asked people who are in situations like that. But for me, in where I'm building, we do have a sewer system in place already. I think when the stands were being developed, they did put this sewer system. So every household has its own. You can connect it to the main system. So once you are at the place, they can open for you and you can have a makeshift toilet, which is a requirement to have. And you can have tap water. They can open for you and you can start use. But again, it has its own disadvantages and advantages. So these are the must-haves at the site that you should probably look into. And another thing that I've forgotten is the cabin. Yeah, you probably need a cabin, a makeshift toilet, as well as a tap water if it's a place that has been well developed and there's running water already. If not, you may probably look at drilling, which comes in with a lot of advantages. I know a lot of people are building using water they are buying from those guys who sell 1,000 liters per daily and have these supplies, but they do have their own disadvantages, because you are going to end up using a lot of money, which can equal to drilling one. If you have enough money, you can just drill one for yourself. You can drill a borehole for yourself, and this will save you a lot of money in the future, because after the house has been completed, you can still use this borehole to be connected to the mains, and you can have running water in the house at the very early stage, and you won't have any inconveniences when it comes to water. Okay, now let's go to the last but not least, that is the 10th point. I think everybody who is planning on building or planning on starting a project in Zimbabwe, whether you are living in Zimbabwe or you are living abroad, you're a diasporan, I think we all need to have the 10th. We all need to hear this, y'all. You all need this 10th point is the most important point for all of us, for you and me to, you need prayer. You need prayer. I know some of you may think, Rhoda, what are you talking about? You need prayer, because honestly, building is not for the weak-hearted. But all I can say is you can come through. You can start weak, but you can come through as a hard person. Because what building can actually train you to be resilient. It can train you to be tough. It can train you to be all sorts. But all I can say, the first thing you need is prayer. You need to pray about your project. You need to pray about the people who are going to work on your project. You need to pray about the funds and the budgeting, because when money comes in and start going out, there are a lot of challenges that may come to attack you once you start your project. There will be a lot of things that will require of that little money you have saved. So before you know it, money may just vanish like that, and you may not be accountable. You may not actually know how the money you have budgeted for a project suddenly vanished like that. So what I'm saying is, when you start constructing, this is a beautiful thing, this is a beautiful project, a lot of temptations can come your way. That's why I'm saying you need prayer. You really need to pray for your life. You need to pray for your project. You need to pray for you to steadfast. You need to pray for sanity and to soothe your nerves, because on daily basis, you may hear things that may shock you. You may hear things that may put you into frenzy. You may hear things that will just make you so angry when it comes to building. I haven't heard of anybody who came to me and testified that building is as easy as that, and they never met any major setbacks. They never had any problems with the builders or, anybody working at their project. one way or the other, you will meet that. But I'll say once you pray for your project, maybe the impact can be lesser. It can help you to avoid having heart attacks. You know what I mean? So, yeah, you need prayer. When you start this project, pray about it. Pray about it. I don't know how your faith is like. If you believe in your ancestors, if you believe in the mighty God, if you believe whoever you believe to, you really need to include them in your project, because this can help you and make your project go smooth, or maybe not as hard as it might be. So yeah, that's all, guys. If you have watched it to this right end, I want to say thank you for sticking by. And also, if you haven't subscribed as yet, go ahead, subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the videos. I want to say thank you for always coming back. And like I said, if you have any video requests, please let me know in the comment section. I will gladly do that. And yeah, that's it, y'all. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I'll see you in the next video. It's goodbye for now. Happy building.